Not every ending is a completion. Some endings leave your soul unsettled. Why? You might be asking. Because the energy hasn't fully closed. It just stopped. It just stopped. And that's why sometimes you move on physically, but your spirit still lingers in places that your body isn't there physically. Or that is why your spirit lingers in places that your body has already left. Completion only happens when your energy fully exhales. Hi guys, I go by Dreamy or Melissa. Welcome and welcome back to my YouTube channel. If you're new here, hi, welcome to my channel. And if you're a returning viewer, hi, welcome back. I appreciate you so much. And basically today's video is about the energetic difference between endings and completion. So without wasting any more time, let's get into today's video. First, I want us to understand what an ending really is. An ending happens when something stops. A relationship, a job, a friendship, a season. It's an external shift. That's an ending. But sometimes, sadly, things end without truly completing. The body leaves, but the energy still stays hooked. That's why you can be months or years past something and still feel its residue. Endings are what happened to you. Completion is what happens within you. For example, when your partner ends your relationship, that's an ending. When they end it, it doesn't mean that energetically you've detached from them. But then completion happens when you finally decide that, you know what, it's fine, my energy wasn't valued here, but another man's trash is another man's treasure. So completion happens when you now decide to fully let go of that relationship that before, when it ended, you were still energetically attached and hooked to the situation. I hope that helps. I don't even know any other best way to explain, like in simpler terms, but I hope that helped. Let's now talk about what completion actually feels like. Completion is an energetic closure. It's peace without needing expectations. It's when you bless what was without craving its return. Completion is a spiritual exhale, a moment where you feel like your energy is now fully returning back to you. You see how they usually say after an ending or like cutting ties with someone, you have to call your energy and your power back to yourself. Like, I call my energy and my power back to myself. Like, I won't say the exact things, but everyone has their different ways of calling back their energy back to themselves. So completion is a spiritual exhale, a moment where you feel your energy return back to you fully. Completion is when your energy finally stops waiting. For example, again, when your partner leaves you and you still love them, energetically, you'll still stay hooked, hoping that one time he'll realize that you two are meant to be and he'll come back, or you guys will be able to work it out. But then sometimes that's just not the case. Sometimes you might end up waiting and wait forever and even deprive of yourself of opportunities and people who would have made your life better only if you had left that illusion box of waiting for your partner, right? So completion happens when your energy stops fully waiting. You see, now when your partner leaves you, automatically, if you really loved them, you'll feel like you'll wait. Even if it's 20 years, you'll wait. But then it reaches a point where you just sit down and see things for what they are and make up your mind. And then you finally feel that spiritual energetic exhale of you being done. Like, now it's complete. Like, you're completely done. And that means physically you left that connection, and also energetically and emotionally you have now signed off. Like, you get it? Yeah, I hope you've gotten it. I'll really continue using this explanation of a breakup because I really feel like all of us have gone through a breakup one way or another, if it's through a partner or a friend. So I really feel like me using a breakup as an explanation will be much easier for people to understand. How do you move from an ending to completion? How do you move from that phase where you're like, I'll wait for him forever, I won't entertain another guy and all that? How do you move from an ending to completion to a place where you're like, you know what, like they say, if it's meant to be, it will circle back, but you don't have to wait. Move on with your life, right? So how does it go from you waiting to you being fully done and moving on without any guilt? One, you need to acknowledge what ended without resisting. Acceptance is the bridge to peace. And what makes us stay in the ending and not fully be in completion is the fact that we don't want to accept that they actually left or chose someone else over us, right? But then the first step to healing is acceptance. Accept that it happened, because that is the bridge to peace. 2, feel what you avoided. He hurt you, you're in pain. Feel it all. You can't complete what you refuse to feel. I'll leave it at that. 3, call your energy back. Say it out loud. I reclaim all energy I left behind in this chapter. You don't have to use those exact words. I personally use kind of the same words, but not the same. But in case you'd like to know what I use to call my energy back, like the affirmation that I use, you can just drop a comment and I'll be sure to reply to your comment. 4, forgive, not to excuse, but to release. What do I mean when I say forgive, not to excuse, but to release? What I mean is, most of the times when we are going through hurt or endings, let me use endings because the title of the video is the energetic difference between endings and completions. So most of the times when we are going through endings that have been caused by people or even the universe, but let's use an example of people so that people get to understand. Yeah, most of the times when endings happen, we tend to forgive them, but then in our minds we're not forgiving them to release them and move on. We are forgiving them to either silence the thought of your brain finally telling you, do you see all these red signs that were there before it happened, but you chose to ignore? Like, most of the times you'll find that we don't forgive people to release. We forgive them to make an excuse for them in our brains, more so if you did not see the hurt coming. I don't want to say much, but let me say this. Forgive not to excuse, but to release. And forgiveness ends the energetic loop. Because again, let's be honest, if someone is to circle back to your life after you guys had a really bad ending, do you think if they circle back and still you haven't energetically released? Guys, it's 11:11 on the timer. If you believe in angel numbers, you can check that out. But as I was saying, if someone is to circle back to your life, but then they circle back and they find that you haven't even released the ending, and when I say they find, is that you yourself, you're going to realize maybe this person is ready for a relationship, but I feel like I can't still trust them. Well, you won't be able to trust them because instead of forgiving to release and remain with a clean slate of them, you forgive to excuse. So you know what, your subconscious mind recorded that and it still remembers what he did because you didn't work through it. It's like bypassing healing. I think I've said too much. Let's continue. 5. Bless the ending. Gratitude seals the portal. After you acknowledge and accept what happened, you feel what you avoided to feel when the ending was happening. You call your energy back. You bless the ending because gratitude seals the portal. Like we said, we are forgiving to release so that we cut that energetic loop of you constantly feeling like you have to wait for them. You don't want to move on with your life because you think they'll come back. They might. And also, sad truth is, they might not come back, and still it won't erase the fact that you are waiting. And whose fault is that? Because when he left, he didn't tell you he'll be coming back for you. You're just hoping, because part of your brain is still holding on to the potential you saw in that person instead of seeing and processing the reality. Completion is an energetic ritual disguised as peace. Because once you move from the ending to completion, let me just smile, because when you do, or if you have experienced that phase, you know how good it feels. You understand why I'm smiling, because the spiritual truth is, endings can feel heavy because your soul has cords still attached to what's going or what's gone. Completion happens when those cords dissolve. When you stop identifying with the old timeline, that's when completion happens. Because every completion raises your vibration, because it frees your energy to serve your next chapter. Endings break you open. Completion build you new. Did you hear me? Endings break you open. Yeah, that's why the heartbreak, the loss, that ending hurt that bad, because it breaks you open. But then completion builds you new. So if something in your life just ended, don't rush to fill the silence. Sit with it. Let the ending turn into completion, because eventually it will. Let me tell you, you will think, not even think, you will feel like that ending will never end. But trust you me, the ending turns into completion, and when it does, trust me, you will know. You will know. Because that's where healing lives, and that's where healing begins. And when you step back into your path of healing, you will know. That brings me to the end of my video. Thank you so much for watching. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, please do subscribe and support my channel. For my subscribers, thank you so much. I appreciate your support, and see you guys tomorrow. Happy Wednesday. I hope midweek is awesome, and stay blessed. Yeah, love you guys. If you haven't subscribed, please do subscribe and join my community. And in case you don't know what my community is about, you can check out my bio. It's clearly listed down. Well, bye. See you tomorrow.